Well, good evening and welcome to the very first episode of the Northern Berkshire Retirees Club. This is a new show to publicize our organization and hopefully bring in new members. And I have with me here today the other two hosts of the show, Doug Greenlaw and Roger J. Urban. So, Roger, you've been in the club the longest. Tell us something about it.
Well, the club obviously is formed of people who have reached retirement age and looking for a place to socialize, to meet new people, to, how do I want to say this, to learn more about the community, about each one of us. We're members, and generally we have a good time. It's not a free-for-all, it is a club. We do run the meetings by Robert's rules, and we're a little bit loose, a little loosey-goosey sometimes. It really doesn't matter. We try to maintain a little bit of decorum, but sometimes it's a little difficult.
And Roger, you didn't mention that you're the president.
I am the president at this time, yes. We have a president, vice president, and a secretary.
Yes.
Me.
And we have a chaplain.
And a chaplain.
And a treasurer.
And a treasurer, and that's most important too.
And the board of directors.
The dues are very reasonable. We do ask for a donation when we hold our meetings, and that's usually a couple of bucks, $3, $4, $5, whatever you want to give. And that goes towards refreshments for the meeting. And anything left over goes into the general fund of the club. Usually there's not much left over. Mm-hmm. We usually do pretty well in counting the folks that are there and what we have left to spend. We do have refreshments, as I mentioned. We try to get a speaker. That isn't always possible, but we do try. The meetings are, I think, pretty well run, and we try to accomplish as much as we can in about an hour. The meetings are usually an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on the subject matter that we're dealing with.
Well, of course, we also arrive early.
Yes.
So that we can chat before the meeting.
Right. And I think I did mention we do have refreshments. Now.
Yeah, and good refreshments.
The club is open to all individuals. The club is Northern Berkshire Retirees Club, but that includes Southern Vermont, i.e. Pownell, and Williamstown.
Even Reedsboro.
Reedsboro, Cheshire.
Stamford,
Adams, North Adams. We have, I think, a great group of people. We do have good meetings. They're enjoyable. We try to get a speaker in.
We're always looking for more.
Yes, we do.
Women are welcome, you know. A lot of people, I think, get the idea this is a men's club.
Yeah.
And it's because mostly men come, but any woman who wants to come is welcome too.
Yes.
Is a full-blown member.
We do have
Yes.
we do have one female member at this point in time. The idea is, come on by, sit in on a meeting, see what you think, and if you'd like to join, you're most welcome. I don't think we've ever turned a member down. Our prospective member. We might.
Mm-hmm. Well, you
I can think
took
of
me.
one or two.
Don't remind me. So we also like to have speakers.
Yes.
And in fact, the speaker that's coming up in January will be someone from the North Adams Ambulance.
Oh, good.
And we've been trying to get them for a long time, and we almost had one, but he had a sick daughter and like a wimp had to stay home with her.
Oh.
So I stood in for him.
And you did a great job, Paul.
Thank you.
You did a very good job.
Considering it was entirely off the cuff, in fact, I was talking about Northern Berkshire Community Television, where we're recording this, and of course, I'm the very first retiree from Northern Berkshire Community Television. So I suggested, again, off the cuff, doing a monthly show to publicize ourselves, get the word out. We are looking for members. We meet the first Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. at the Greylock Community Club in North Adams. And everyone thought doing a show was a great idea. Well, almost everyone, because when I started asking for extra hosts, so no one person has to be responsible for doing a show every month.
Silence.
Yeah, people shut
Crickets.
up, except I did get these two people here, lucky me. And when Ed Morandi gets back on his feet, he is willing to be a host as well. So we'll be rotating through the months. And, well, let me see here. Doug, you haven't been saying much. Tell us about what the club means to you.
I've only been there like a little over a year, I believe. But I tell you, when I showed up, I was treated like a royalty. A few meetings later, they asked me to be the secretary. So I agreed to be secretary. I'm trying to do the best I can, but...
You do a good job. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
And all of us is familiar with Northern Berkshire Community Television, of course. And they say if you come over to the meeting, you'll be treated like a royal family. Everybody's
Does
great.
that mean that we're going to offer to chop your head off? Because
Well,
that's what happened to a lot of royalty.
We digress.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, you sound as if no one has their head cut off anymore.
No, this is good royalty. We're all friends there. Everybody's great.
That's right.
Everybody gets
Yeah,
along.
we are all friends.
Most of us.
Yes, most of it.
Yeah, we're all retired, mature people.
Yeah.
Never no arguments that I've ever seen. And the meetings usually don't even last an hour. A lot of them are only 35 minutes, 45 minutes.
It kind of depends on what we have on the agenda.
And how many people
and
show
how many
up.
people are there. For example, when it comes time to get warm in the summertime, we do have a summer picnic, and that takes a little bit of planning. The officers are responsible, but we do have a planning committee, and if we don't, we sure will shortly. To do these kind of things, we do have a Christmas party normally. I don't think we did one this year because of...
No, it's coming up on the 16th.
Oh, well, we do have one on the 16th, pardon me. See, I have to have somebody to keep track of us, and then that's been delegated to Paul.
Lucky me.
Yeah, lucky you.
But I want to say right now that Paul is quite the amazing person.
More
Really
than you'll
amazing.
ever know.
That's one way of putting it.
More than I want to know, I bet. But yeah, everybody in the club is great. It's just, if you're hesitating on coming down, don't hesitate. It's just,
No. And as we mentioned, and I'll mention it again, our club is open to women. We do have one woman now. She saw an ad that we had placed on some bulletin board in Williamstown. We did try to do a recruiting campaign, and we still are. And she responded and added to the meeting. So it's good. We have getting more diverse as we go along.
and she mentioned to me after the meeting she was really impressed on how well it went through and how it was handled. And she said she thought it would be something goofy, but like
That reminds me, I met your sister-in-law at Walmart.
Sister-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you have a brother?
Yeah.
Notice he had to stop and think about it. Do I have a brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I met her.
So, yeah.
I met his wife.
Yeah.
And she's not retired yet. She still has 3 more years, but she said her husband would be interested.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to do. Go after, don't just count on him coming, go after him.
Okay, so I got a question.
Threaten to move in with him. Go ahead.
Like, she's like 65 and she could be retired. Mm-hmm. But because she's a pharmacist thing in the hospital, and because of hurting for people, she's working past 65.
Doesn't matter.
So even though she's still working, she could be a member too?
Yes.
Is there a minimum age that you can think of?
Well, I would
Retirement
say,
age,
yeah,
I think is
Retirement
about
age.
we're looking for.
65. I was hoping to work until I was
60,
70.
65.
Yeah.
We really are not that strict as far as being actually retired or not. If you're of retirement age, I think
Yeah.
is the best way to put
Yep.
it, then please consider joining us. What we usually do is we ask any prospective member to sit in on a meeting to see if it's their cup of tea. Most seem to like it and
Mind
do
you, we
join.
don't actually serve tea, just coffee.
We could serve tea if we wanted to, but we have coffee. Come around.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And since I've joined, I haven't missed a meeting yet. I was late that one time.
Oh, yes, very
I was late.
Well, that's
15, 20 minutes, because the car broke down.
not a big deal.
I think it was
That's not a
longer
big
than
deal.
that, but-
Yeah.
We do ask that if you're interested, you do sit in on a meeting to see if it's really going to be your cup of tea. And most people who have come to the meeting and sat in on it join. I don't think we've had anybody just walked away from us. We have a very diverse membership. People of all interests.
Yep.
We do try to have a speaker at each meeting. This isn't always possible, but we do try to have a speaker who would present things of interest to the whole group, relative usually to the city or the towns or the area nearby.
Yeah.
We have had speakers that talk about the history of the area. Paul, before he became a member, was one of our speakers. I think you did it a couple times, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, at least 2 times that I can remember.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, we're having someone from the ambulance in January. February, we're getting Judy from Hoosick River Revival.
Okay.
And in March, we're having Dave Fabiano from here.
Good.
That'll be amazing.
We have, in the past, getting speakers was relegated to me, the president. I got tired of doing it, and I ran out of people that I know who could be speakers. So I've kind of shoveled this over to Paul, who's done a remarkably good job so far.
Thank you.
So far.
Well, what he did was he asked for a committee, and I volunteered. Doug said he'd volunteer too.
Right away.
Looked around the room and
Silence.
silence.
However, we do have the president, vice president, who are automatically on the committee. Not the treasurer, because we don't really talk about money at that point. But we do.
Well, you know, I know a couple people that I'm going to ask, but it occurs to me when you say we don't talk about money, why not talk about money? Why not have a banker in?
If somebody who's a banker would like to join us, they're more than welcome.
Well, I mean as a speaker.
We could do that as well. I think, any of the professions would be a great speaker. We've had all kinds of speakers. I do like to get people to speak to us who have local responsibility. And by that I mean people in local government, not only North Adams, but Williamstown, Adams, Cheshire. Yeah, we do have members from Cheshire, by the way. Even though it says Northern Berkshire, I guess we include Cheshire as part of being
No,
Northern Berkshire.
Cheshire is part of Northern Berkshire.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
When you get to Lanesboro, you're in Central.
Really? Is there a sign?
No, but it's a common fact. It's well known by
Obviously-
people
I never
of
heard it.
intelligence, like Doug and me.
Clear.
This is a community show, so I won't give him the response I would normally give him. But anyhow, now you made me lose my train of thought, which was a very short train, believe me. Anyway, if you're at all interested, come in and sit in on a meeting. We're not going to pressure you to join. That's up to you, obviously. The dues are very reasonable. Do you remember what they are, Paul?
$3 or $4.
That's
$3 to $5.
$15 a year.
$15 a year is the actual dues. We do collect a few bucks at the start of each meeting to pay for the refreshments. The rest goes into the general fund for the club.
Yep.
Well, don't forget our little games.
And we do have, at the end of the meeting, before we close the meeting, we do have drawings. And you might win a couple of $3, $4 or a scratch ticket or some such.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good outing. It's a lot of fun. We do try to bring people in who will speak to us on matters of interest to the whole group. I like to bring in people who have some responsibility in the community,
Yeah.
so that we can get to know them, they can get to know us, and it's worked out very well so far.
Yeah, we've been trying to get the mayor, Mayor Maxey.
We
but
will.
She is
Busy.
incredibly busy. A couple times she's had to cancel. So I think what we're going to have to do is kidnap her off the street in a nice way.
We've also
Here, have some coffee and a donut.
we have had the mayors in the past. We've had the city councilors. We'd be willing to have people from the government, from Cheshire, Adams, whatever, who would like to get their information out. It's wide open. It's wide open for speakers. We also like to get people who, like Paul, for example. First time Paul came to a meeting, you were a speaker.
That's right.
And he spoke on local history, which was terrific. And, we like to have subjects that would be of interest to the whole group. You can find some little niche, perhaps, that maybe 2 or 3 people are interested in. That's not what we really are looking for as far as a speaker goes.
Yeah.
But we're wide open as far as that goes as speakers. I do claim the authority to review the speaker before we bring them in, just to make sure that would be, that they know what they're in for. Not so much that, that we would say no to someone, but we want to let them know what they're in for. And it's a collegial group. The speaker comes in and gives their spiel, and we do have a question and answer period. We found out some very interesting facts at times, with the various speakers that we've had. So I think that's a very important part of our meeting.
Yeah, and don't forget, one of the meetings, I don't remember if we had a speaker or not, but there was a gentleman there with a box of models.
Yes.
I forget, were they planes?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his thing.
Yeah, from the World War
from the
or
war.
Vietnam or
He actually
Korea.
brought in one of the planes that I used to fly.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that old in World War II,
Yeah.
but no.
And that was just a member that,
Yeah.
we didn't have a speaker, so a member brought in his hobby
Sure,
stuff.
and we've had that on occasion where a
fun.
member got up and
And he was great.
oh yeah, he did a good job. So
Yeah, we have a lot of veterans, and a lot of times they'll
Yes.
relay stories. A lot of times they're funny, things that happen in the Army or Marines or Navy, and
we
it's
come
actually,
first.
yeah.
Navy comes first.
I was just picking them
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
No offense.
You know what else we have? We have a lot of people from other clubs. I know we have several Elk members, which I'm a member myself. and their vice president and my dad. So maybe we could even get some people from some of the clubs to come in and
Sure.
do a thing, you know?
Sure.
Because I know the Elks is very, active with veterans and kids. That's the things the Elk does, kids
Yeah.
and veterans.
Yeah. And
Yeah, what did the Eagles do? I'm not sure
I don't know if they're even
totally
there.
disbanded.
I'm not sure that they are around anymore. I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, I know that they closed their clubhouse.
Right.
And sold it. But I wonder what they were doing as an organization. The only memory that I have of the Eagles was when I was 4 years old. My brother Ralph's girlfriend was the daughter of an Eagle, and we were invited to the Eagles Lodge, which was in the old Richmond Theater.
Right, I remember that.
And
Guys are
I
older.
must have been in the lodge room, but I don't remember that. What I do remember is the girl took me by the hand and brought me into the dressing room area. And you came up some steps, and there was a room with a pool table, and then there was a quarter flight of steps going up into the bar. And we sat down on the outskirts of the pool table, and she said, "These men are going to teach us to play pool." In other words, we were going to watch them play pool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, there is a lot of clubs that.
Yeah. There was the Moose Lodge.
Yeah. I don't know what happened with them.
They went by the wayside.
I know the Elks is still doing really good. The Elks
Yeah.
is really.
There were the Odd Fellows.
Yep.
We had a strong Odd Fellow presence once.
A lot of the clubs were, how do I want to say it? Clubs that would organize for the good of the city and the communities. You know, I'm thinking specifically Elks, Eagles, but you know, we're open to any members of any other organization. It doesn't preclude you from joining
Yeah, that's
us.
right. There's also the Lions Club.
Yeah.
That's still
Oh yeah,
active.
that's good. Active, very active.
And I believe the Rotary is still
Yeah.
active.
Yeah, and it wouldn't hurt to give time to one of their leaders to come and give us a little talk about their organization.
Yeah, because we might have some of our members that want to join there.
Sure.
Because the more members the club has, the more, you know,
Yeah.
you can't have a club with only 2 members. You know what I mean?
Well, you can, but it's not.
And that's why we're doing the show, is try to get people down to join.
Yes.
We need people to join.
Yeah.
We need you.
No, point at the camera with the light on. We
Okay.
need you.
Let me tell you, we need, Uncle Doug needs you. That's me, Doug.
I think if you come and if you're at all interested, and you come and you sit in on a meeting, you might be surprised. It's not the comedy club.
It's a good time though.
Yeah.
Although we do a joke at
We
the
do
end
do
of
an
every meeting.
end of the meeting joke. That's correct.
Are we going to have an end of the show joke for us today, Paul?
I might be able to come up with something.
We'll watch the timer.
So we have about 4 minutes left. Is there anything else we want to discuss?
4 minutes. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, time flies. That's one thing you're going to see as a host, and especially the guests will see it too. It's a short half hour.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We've sometimes gone over that limit, but normally it's about a half-hour meeting, and we do accomplish
No,
our.
we're talking about the show.
Oh.
It's a half hour show.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very short half hour.
Yeah.
The meetings are like that too.
Unless
No.
you run out of things to say and halfway through.
I like to think the meetings are well run.
Yeah, you don't seem that long.
No. And we do accomplish quite a bit. So if you're at all interested, drop by. Give us a chance. You might find out that's really your cup of tea. You'll meet some good people. And
Great people.
you're,
Great.
like I said, you're more than welcome to sit in to see if you'd like to join. There's no pressure at all, other than getting out the door.
And it's only once a month.
It's once a month.
Yeah, and it is fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Definitely.
sure that I was going to like it, but yeah, it's a nice bunch of people.
Yep.
Very friendly, very chummy, great refreshments. Oh, those apple things. I forget what they're
Yeah.
called now.
Fritters.
But the donuts. Yes, thank you. The apple fritters that are the worst thing in the world for you, but they're good.
So, to make a long story short, we do meet when?
The first Thursday of every month
First
at
Thursday
10
of the
a.m.
month, 10 a.m., Greylock Community Club. Come in and join us. Sit in on the meeting, see if it's your cup of tea. And if you are at all interested in joining, we'd be glad to sign you up. The initial dues would be at your next meeting if you show up. Okay? We do collect.
Well, the meeting after that. After
Yes.
the first-
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you
Just 'cause
come
it-
in January and come back in February, that's when you'll pay your 15.
We do make a collection of our members for refreshments. We do have refreshments, coffee, tea.
Any new people coming over, they get refreshments for nothing.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
our treat.
Yeah. We're just looking for new people and don't want the club to die.
Now,
got
if you come and it's not your cup of tea,
Well, we don't want the members to die either.
if you come and it's not your cup of tea, no problem. But we'd like to have you sit in on the meeting and see what it's all about. I'm sure that you'll find it interesting, and it's about all I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. We have less than a minute to go.
Wow.
So, a joke in less than a minute. Oh, crap, I'm going blank. It doesn't matter. What's the matter with
I'm
you?
smelling the smoke.
Brain
lot of
burning.
thinking.
Uh-oh. 35 seconds.
I am surrounded by people like this. Ah!
No, you're not.
no,
you
I'm
don't have
com-
anybody over there.
I'm coming up dry. So,
You got 24 seconds?
yes. Got a joke?
24 seconds?
19.
I was talking to a guy and he was fishing, and he only had one arm. And he told me he caught a fish this big.
All right.
Well done. You can use that.
That'll suffice.
At
That'll
our next
suffice.
meeting. So, thank you guys for joining us here. Thank you for watching. Nicole, thank you for directing. We love you very much. And we will see you in January.
Hopefully.